Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Diaries channel. In the past few days, this one phrase has echoed throughout the fandom like a thunderclap in a suddenly dark sky. Is Jikook over? It's appeared in comment sections, Twitter threads, TikTok videos, discussion forums, and even in private fan chat rooms that are usually filled with laughter. Something feels different. Something that can't be explained in a single word, can't be proven in a single clip, but it feels real to those who have long followed Jimin and Jungkook's every move. Small changes in their behavior feel enormous, as if an invisible distance has suddenly opened between two figures who have always been known to be so close. For Jikook fans, Jimin and Jungkook's relationship is more than just a typical idol interaction. It's a long story of closeness, comfort, warmth, and an emotional bond that has slowly grown over the years. From the stressful trainee days, to the shaky debut stage, to the world now viewing them as global icons, Jimin and Jungkook have always seemed to support each other. A small smile, a fleeting glance, a light touch on the shoulder, or a laugh that appears for no apparent reason. All of it becomes a language of love that only those who truly pay attention can understand. Therefore, when that language seems to fade, panic sets in. Not out of hatred, not out of a desire for drama, but out of fear of losing something that has been a source of joy. Many fans see Jimin not only as a ship, but as a symbol of emotional comfort. In a world that often feels cruel, seeing two people genuinely care for each other is a reminder that warmth still exists. But now, a question lingers. Why do they seem different? In recent appearances, Jimin and Jungkook's interactions have felt more formal. The once meaningful glances now seem briefer. The laughter that once often erupted without reason is now rare. They remain professional, still friendly, still smiling, but there's something missing from the way they look at each other. To the untrained eye, this might seem insignificant, but for fans who had already memorized the subtle patterns in their behavior, these changes felt like a quiet but persistent alarm. There was a subtle sadness rising in the hearts of many fans. Not an explosive sadness, but a quiet, suffocating kind. Like when you realize that someone who was always there is now drifting away. Not with anger, not with conflict, but with a slowly growing distance. Social media became a space for emotional confessions. Some wrote, "I feel like I'm missing something I never had." Others said, "Maybe it's just me, but why do I feel sad seeing them now?" Others tried to remain rational and said they were just growing up, just busy, just changing as normal people. But even those rational sentences often ended with, "But still, it doesn't feel the same." This panic wasn't because fans were demanding Jimin and Jungkook always appear close. On the contrary, many feared that they had been expecting too much, overinterpreting, hanging too much emotion on small moments that might not have been meant to be that profound. And the biggest fear isn't that Jimin is over, but that fans will have to face the reality that what they've felt all this time might just be a beautiful illusion, or is that really true? If we look back, Jimin and Jungkook's relationship has never been static. There were times when they seemed very close, and there were times when they seemed calmer. There were periods of laughter, and there were periods of focus and seriousness. Human relationships don't always peak at the same emotional peak. But what makes this situation different is the intensity of the fans' reaction. It's as if there's a collective fear that something fundamental is truly changing. Some fans began analyzing every second of the video. Every frame was scrutinized, every camera angle scrutinized. Some said Jimin seemed more withdrawn. Others said Jungkook seemed more focused on himself. Others argued that they were simply going through a phase of personal growth. But all of these analyses have one thing in common: a desire to understand, not to judge. What pains many fans is the feeling that the warmth that once felt so real now feels distant. It's like remembering a childhood home that was once full of laughter, but now only memories remain. You don't hate that house, you just miss the atmosphere that was there. Jikook is not just about two people. They are a mirror of the fans' emotions. When Jimin and Jungkook are seen happily together, fans feel a sense of warmth. When they're seen far apart, fans feel empty. That's why small changes feel so profound. Because what changes isn't just what's seen on screen, but what's felt in the heart.
탄내 아닙니까?
네, 괜찮습니다.
내 마음이 타는 냄새.
아이씨.
There's one thing rarely discussed openly. Fans fear that they're not ready for a version of Jimin and Jungkook that's no longer the same. Many people love Jimin not just for their interactions, but for what those interactions represent. Closeness, security, emotional honesty, and genuine affection. If those interactions disappear, it's as if a part of the small world they've built in their hearts has collapsed. But amidst this panic, there are also soft voices trying to calm them. Some write that love doesn't always have to be visible. Others remind us that maturity often makes people more at ease in expressing emotions. Others say that distance doesn't mean separation, and silence doesn't mean the end. But still, the question resurfaces, haunting the minds of many. Is Jimin truly heading towards the end? Or is this just a phase we can't yet fathom? This feeling of fear actually shows how deeply emotionally attached fans are. They don't just watch, they feel. They don't just admire, they care. And that care makes every change feel like a small, painful loss. Jimin and Jungkook are two humans who have grown up under the spotlight. They've changed, they've learned, they've adjusted to pressures that are hard for ordinary people to even imagine. Perhaps what seems like distance to fans is actually the space they need to breathe. Perhaps what seems like the end is actually a new form of intimacy that's more mature, calmer, and more personal. However, fans' hearts can't always be convinced by logic, because emotional connections aren't built on numbers and facts, but on feelings that have been lived through for years. And those feelings are now trembling, not with hatred, but with a love that's afraid of loss. This is why the headline Jikook is on the END feels so powerful, not because everyone truly believes it, but because everyone fears the possibility. That fear isn't a sign of weakness. It's a testament to how much Jimin and Jungkook mean to so many people's emotional lives. And perhaps, beneath all this panic, there's one little-known truth, that Jikook has become more than just an idol duo. They've become a symbol of hope, warmth, and security for so many weary hearts. So when that symbol feels shaky, the fans' little worlds shake with it. This isn't the end of the story. It's just the beginning of a deeper question. What's really going on? Are we witnessing an emotional breakup, or a transformation we don't understand? And if one day you find yourself missing the old Jikook, it doesn't mean you're weak. It just means you've loved someone with all your heart. Because in the end, the truest love is the one that doesn't demand. The love that allows. The love that wishes for happiness, even if it doesn't always match our expectations. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with it until the end. And thank you for still loving Jimin and Jungkook in your own way. If this video touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Share your feelings because you're not alone. See you in the next video. And remember, Jikook may have changed, but our love as fans doesn't have to.